Welcome to another edition of Colonel's Corner. On this episode, we preview the Wilkes men's and women's tennis team's 2022 season with new head coach Todd Kane. Welcome, Coach.
Welcome. Glad to be here.
We're glad to have you, Coach. Hired back on September 29th in the fall. What made you interested and drew your interest to become the next head coach of Wilkes men's and women's tennis?
Well, I think timing is everything. It's kind of how I lived my tennis career. Things happen for a reason. I've always wanted to get into college coaching, and I've been offered a few opportunities, but they just weren't right, And I feel like at this point, with owning the academy near the school, getting to know some of the guys a little bit, like I've seen them come and go and seen how they are. I mean, they're a bunch of good guys, well, men and women that when I got a phone call, it just piqued my interest right away. I just knew I wanted to help out in any way, whether it was helping them find somebody or doing it myself. And I just didn't know if I had time. And it turns out I do. I love it. I think the men and women are awesome, and I'm really glad that they trusted me, and I'm pumped. I'm excited.
Awesome. So what's your student athletes, the men and women's excitement level? I know you just said you're pumped for the season to get going, starting this Saturday with home matches against University of Scranton in TK Academy.
Yeah, so I think a big difference for the team is now they get to play, I call it real tennis. They don't have to play on a gym floor like a lot of these Division III colleges do in the winter. And, we're one of the only schools probably in the air, definitely within, 300-400 miles that actually has an indoor facility to train at. So our guys have been here, or guys and girls, sorry, I always say that. But our teams have been here every day, 5-6 days a week, doing an hour and a half, 2 hours, whatever they can. And I think they're just really excited to get going. Everybody's, they're playing so much more tennis than they played before. So I think it's been a good change for them, and it's been fun for me to see how excited they were, because I think that I think when you don't know what you're missing until you get it, they didn't know what they were missing out on until now that they're getting tennis every day, and it's been a lot of fun for them. It's been a good change, so they're really excited.
Awesome. Now, can you talk a little bit about some of the returning members to each team? Got a couple first team All-MAC Freedom selections back on each side, one on the men's team and one on the women's, and also some other experienced players within the program.
Yeah, so I think from our women's side, I think we have, we have two seniors that do a lot of winning, over the course of their career. And, then we have a very young team outside of that. Everybody else is either a freshman or sophomore. I think, having Dasha leading them is great. She's been such a good leader, and she's taken to the transition really well. I think it's always hard when she had a new coach come in her senior year. It's always difficult. And I think she's been great at leading them. And Alexa's been in the same boat as well. I mean, she's been thrown a new coach as well, and I think she's handled it extremely well as well, which kind of sets the tone for the other, for the younger players. But the younger players don't know any better, really. They only had the coach for a year, so it's not that big a change. The biggest change is, wow, we get to play all this tennis now. We have to drive to the academy to get to play, and practice times are during the day now. But I feel like the seniors led the way on the girls' team for sure. And I expect good things from them. I think our young players are very good. Our sophomores are very good. And I think our two seniors will do what they've done every year, before I got here. Look, everything I know about them is what I've researched, so I see their records, I see their one loss, but I didn't really know them as players until this year. So, but I expect them to do very well. On our men's side, I think it's a little different because our captains are actually sophomores. We don't have, we have one senior on the team, and he plays mainly doubles for right now. We'll see what happens. I mean, maybe he'll have a chance to play more singles in the spring, but we have a very young team. Our sophomores are returning players. They are, between Cole Gibson playing one and John Toussaint up there. And I feel like we have a good nucleus. We have Jacob Bosler, he's one of our other captains. We have Cole and Jacob are captains. And so it's two sophomores. and they'll play anywhere from, Cole will play 1-2, and I think Jacob will play 4-5 area, and I expect big things. They're gonna do real well this year.
Awesome. And you kind of touched on it a little bit. The newcomers to the program, very young behind the seniors on the women's side, and also just a young men's team altogether. Can you touch on some of those first-year student athletes on both teams and what kind of they'll bring to the program? Two of those on the women's side winning individual titles in the fall at the MAC Individual Championships.
Yeah, I think it's very interesting. Tia, so I've known Tia for a long time. She's played local tennis here, and I was coaching. I had the state champ that I was coaching, and so we played against Tia quite often. And we've seen her play during high school and stuff. I was surprised that she was on the team. I didn't even know. I was like, wow, that was a good bonus. We didn't know where to play her. Again, first year coach, so I had her at 5 in the fall. She's definitely going to move up in the lineup. I mean, she'll be somewhere between 2 and 4. Through the spring season here. She's very good, very tough, makes a lot of balls, is going to make girls play. Like, I'm excited to see what she can do. And then we have, Sydney Farmer, who, she got to play in the MAC championship, and she was able to win a title. And, it was funny. I was just talking to her yesterday. I said, listen, you fight. That's what you do. She's new to the sport, but she fights, and she can get balls in. I said, look, your fighting spirit is what's going to get you in the lineup. That's what's going to get you to play. And I think, so having those two freshmen that I think, will contribute big time to the team is great. And then, a sophomore I didn't touch on too. We have, we have a girl, Caitlin, who's, look, she's brand new to the sport too, and she's playing. And between those three young players, and granted, I know the other sophomores and sophomores, but Caitlin's a little newer to the game too. So she's almost, I look at her more as a freshman. She's kind of getting her feet wet. Didn't play much last year and is probably going to play a lot this year, so it'll be interesting. I have a lot of options on the girls' side with the youth. Now the men's side, incredibly excited about them as well. I mean, we have a bunch of young guys that are going to get in the lineup. I mean, God, between Nick Putney, Nathan, Rathy, and, we have Rod, we have Connor Fry. I mean, we're loaded with freshmen. I think we're all going to play at some point during the year. I think against Scranton, we're going to play anywhere between 3 and 4 of them, are going to get in the lineup, and probably all 4 of them. We have one injury, that he may need another week off, but if not, he'll be playing too. But Nick, Nick, big serve, big power player. Nathan is just steady everywhere, very good doubles player, but really good in singles too. Makes you play. I mean, it's just exciting because these guys they're raw, they're new, and and it's fun to coach kids like that and they didn't know what the system was like before. They're just coming in, and this is them. So it's a great opportunity for me to kind of develop a bond with some kids that didn't have bonds with the previous coach. I think that's it makes it easier. But I'm excited. I think the freshmen on both teams are going to be huge impact players for us.
We're excited to see them this season at the TK Academy and Ralston Athletic Complex. And that brings us to the schedule. Lots of dates on the schedule this year. It looks like a very competitive schedule ahead of both teams. And can you just talk a little bit about the schedule as a whole, and then the strength of the MAC Freedom this season?
Yeah, I think obviously when I took the job, I saw the schedule kind of laid out, and we had to make some changes. It's all a matter of you want to upgrade the competition a little bit, like by putting Lafayette on there. I've known that coach for years, and I think it made sense to go play them. We have a relationship, and I think it's great for us to get a chance to play. They look at it as a chance to get a win. We'll see if we can stop that. But I think it's great for our players, and it's also what I want to do. I want to try to recruit a little bit better of a student athlete moving forward. Get people that are higher UTRs and want to play more tennis. I think now that we have the indoor facility and we can get more home matches, we should be able to hopefully attract some more players, and really make it a competitive team environment. But it's hard to do that if you don't add some non-conference, some tougher non-conference opponents, I think, because all kids want to be challenged a little bit, and I think our conference, which is very good, I think, we've always finished, 1 or 2, every year. So I do think it's important for us to get outside the conference and challenge ourselves a little bit. Obviously with Stevens coming in, that is going to be a challenge for us, and they're incredibly talented, as well as some other teams. I mean, I think we got a good look at FDU, we got a good look at DeSales, Arcadia, all those teams. I think they all pose some problems for us, but I like my team. I like my roster. I think we'll navigate it very well on both sides.
Awesome. Well, we look forward to seeing the action play out this spring. Thanks for joining us, Coach. The men's and women's tennis team will be in action to start the 2022 season on Saturday at the TK Academy, hosting the University of Scranton. The men at noon and the women at 3. Again, Coach, good luck this season. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, thank you. It was a pleasure. Take care.